Formula One is one of the biggest forms of sport in this world and the pinnacle of motorsports. The fastest cars, technologically advanced, incredible aerodynamic solutions, logistics, etc. That's what Formula One is made of: challenge, hardship, and solutions. Without the complexity and challenge that come with everywhere on and off the track, we cannot say that this is Formula One. People love Formula One because there is nothing other in the image of Formula One around the world. It's unique, it's authentic. With the incredible car speed, the aerodynamics of the cars that allows cars to go faster and faster in corners, the world's best engineers, the world's best drivers and mechanics, and the complexity of the logistics, I could go on. It's never easy to be part of Formula One, especially for the ones that are right there in the hierarchy. They need to endure high amount of pressure and criticism. The CEO, the race directors, team principals, drivers, engineers, etc. As big as Formula One is, with all the firms around the world, the venues where Formula One has raced, tragedy, controversy, successful drivers and teams, Formula One must have some form of impression in this world. At the beginning, Formula One was not took seriously. It was seen as a way for rich men to take their time. But as you can imagine, Formula One proved them wrong very early, from the first Grand Prix in 1915. Formula One continued to grow more and it became the racing modality as we know it today. Very exclusive, a dream for any racing driver, limited access, etc. Back there was a team there, a serious name and respectable name in the motorsports world. That big and respectable name stepped in Formula One and gave to Formula One a more serious image. Take a guess, here we go. The team I'm talking about, me and maybe you, are not particularly a big fan, or if you are a fan, you are the one. We just respect them for their remarkable story. But the problem with that is that they are too good at destroying the second driver's race for the profit of the first driver, even if there's no necessity. They also have the reputation for having incompetent strategists that also love to destroy their own race with doubtful strategies. They are in Formula One since the first race and they never quit. It is respectable. They are the biggest team and the most successful team in Formula One ever. Red is red, Ferrari is red, red is Ferrari, whatever. Of course I'm talking about the Scuderia Ferrari. Ferrari gave it to Formula One a huge boost. There's no doubt there. Hoping that they will be always there in Formula One. Today Formula One is swimming in popularity. They are more popular than ever. Formula One has become as big as they aimed it to be. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, Formula One was losing in revenue, with attendance of the race being limited, and during the first half of the 2021 season, the paddock was not operating during the GPs. Now for the 2022 season, every seat in the stands can be now sold. The paddock operating fully again. More TV rights sold. More people around the world interested in Formula One, and mainly because of the series Drive to Survive from Netflix. Formula One is more popular than ever. The growth in popularity is notable because since Liberty Media took over Formula One, they have been working in propaganda, giving Formula One a completely new image. Now they have more presence in social media, a streaming service, an official video game. With a new look, Formula One has been transforming itself to be more attractive. The revenue of Formula One has doubled in the first quarter of the 2022 season to 360 million, with cities around the world disputing the privilege to have a race on their venue. It will be probably continue growing. Their Formula One will be the winner. As I said before, Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsports. Teams are pushing more and more to be as efficient as fast as they can, while staying into the rules. From time to time, teams are searching for some gap into the rules to make controversy upgrades for their cars. An example of this is the DAS systems of Mercedes-Benz. And those technologies developed by Formula One teams do not always stay into Formula One. It's used in the other sectors like medical and electronics. To take a F1 technology and introduce it into road cars, it was very cost and not at all profitable for cars manufacturers if they decided to do it. It does take a lot of all to make a technology and make it work into Formula One car where you can win races and championships. But to put it into an everyday car, it's costly. So most of the times the technology stays into F1 and the others motorsport modality. Since the hybrid era was introduced in 2014, the F1 engines have become more efficient, running up to 15 thermal efficient. At the time, the road cars thermal efficient was 13%. As always, more and more technology has been developed today, it's easier to introduce F1 technology into the road car. That was the goal of F1 with the hybrid era engine, to be more efficient and accessible to the transfer of technology into the road cars and other sectors. Formula One is up to a big change. The sustainability, let's be honest, sustainability does not match very well with Formula One. They are doing everything and working hard to get into there. Sure, there will be a lot of criticism, but there is no need to erase Formula One because it runs in fossil fuels. As we all know, money interest runs Formula One. We cannot deny that, nor criticize them. Formula One is a pure business. And if you are a fan and you did not catch that, no, you did it. Formula One is a pure business where everyone pulled the rope for their side. To say that Formula One aims to be sustainable while there is a sponsor like Aramco, it is one of the biggest polluter in the world, that is at least contradicting. But again, it's Formula One. I have the kind of impression this is the only way, but we will talk about money and F1 in the future video. Formula One hybrid engine is more efficient, but it costs a huge amount of money to develop those engines, but it will become more and more efficient within time. Formula One is aiming to be as sustainable as possible, so they are going to do a lot to be more efficient. There is a new fuel named ETEM introduced in 2022. ETEM each contains 10% of ethanol, so that's why the name ETEM. To introduce this new fuel, F1 engines needed to be relooked. It's a working hard to do, but a necessary thing to do, because the ETEM is a different fuel, so it will not be as efficient as the precedent fuel or even incompatible with the new engines. Formula One aims to be carbon neutral by 2013. From 2025 onward, cars will only run with sustainable fuel, so no more fossil fuel. There is still a long road ahead to go and a lot of work to do. Formula One is criticized by activists around the world to be a very polluter kind of motorsport because it's travel around the world, and the teams use it to spend millions and millions on cars development, having the best engines, monster, fast, mind-blowing noise, logistics and street race today. Everyone is trying to find a balance between the reality and the world that we are living now in, and not taking the risk to stay behind, hoping that it will work.